Hope Channel, changing lives.
Hello and a very beautiful evening to you wherever you hear my voice from. This is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. I am so delighted to come into your homes again because here we discuss issues bothering the family. Is it parenting? Is it how to love your wife or that special person you're looking for? Or even trying to come together as family to raise money, to support yourselves, your education, and what have you. Here we discuss issues and matters that will promote families, that will bring good health and well-being of each member of the family. This is what we do on Love at Home. And I am again so happy to be here because it gives me the opportunity to see you, for you also to see me, so that we learn, unlearn, relearn about certain things that we do that will help us. At the end of the day, our motive is that we are preparing our families to meet Christ for his soon return. I am Afia Sewa Mansa. Today, we want to look at becoming an exceptional role model to sons. What is the meaning of being a role model? What are the qualities of a role model? And why sons? Do we need to discuss this at this time? I think you agree with me. We need to do this, especially when this month is Father's Day. So in advance, I want to wish all fathers a happy Father's Day as we try to be better versions of ourselves through our sons. Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, I'll introduce you to my guest for the day and we will start the discussion. Please remember to call in your friends and join us on Facebook, on YouTube, and even on your set. It is time. Yes, time is so. Bring all the family. Let's relearn, unlearn, and learn. We'll be right back. Thank you.
In northern Ghana, thousands lack the medical care they need daily. But this August, hope is coming. From August 2nd to 9th, the Healing Hearts Health Mission is coming to Tamale, and it's free. General surgeries, eye operations, dental treatments, hepatitis B screening, and more. This is a mission of healing and hope, but we can't do it without you. We are calling on sponsors, volunteers, and kind hearts to help us serve. To be a part of this powerful outreach, call 0249 193 083 or send Momo to 0249 193 083. The Healing Hearts Medical Mission is brought to you by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with United Service to Africa, the Liver Cancer Foundation, Ghana Adventist Health Service, and the Adventist Church. Hope starts here.
Real Talk is back. After a brief break, we are thrilled to let you know that we are back stronger, bolder, and even more active than ever.
When he makes you feel that what you are doing is senseless, who are you? Sit down. When we are talking, you don't talk. When he began to control you with the power that I am the man of the house. So when I tell you to shush, you need to shush. Don't go there, you don't go there.
We've truly missed you, and we are excited to reconnect and dive into the conversations that matter most. Each week, we take on issues, challenges, and experiences you share with us. Real Talk, a space where real stories meet real solutions.
Hello, I am so grateful that you waited on us. The program is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana, and thank you so much. Please, you can join us with on the discussion through our WhatsApp line 0559 680066. 0559-680066. Please share in your thoughts, bring in your thoughts, your questions, your suggestions, so that we help with the discussion. To help me do this wonderful discussion, I have with me Mr. Kwaku Yeboah Asuama. He's a former CEO of My Life Insurance. He's a father, he's a married person, and so he has lots of experience to help us do the discussion, becoming an exceptional role model to sons. Mr. Yeboah, good evening.
Good evening.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look good.
Thanks so much.
How was your day?
It's been good so far.
And your family?
Everybody's fine, by the grace of God.
To God be the
And
glory.
you and yours?
Oh, as you can see, I am doing very well.
We
I
thank God for grace.
that. And I'm sure you out there, you're also doing well, and you are ready for this all-important topic, because we need to look at the boy child. That is why we are discussing them today. Now, let me start with you, Mr. Kwaku Yeboah. Who is a role model? Under what condition do we say somebody is a role model?
Well, by role model, we are talking about somebody whose behavior, whose achievements, and his way of life is so attractive that people really want to emulate such a person. Mm-hmm. So he is what I would term a role model.
Okay. Are there special qualities that we normally look out for in these people that we term role model?
Yes, of course. I mean, you are looking for somebody you wish to become like. I mean, you wish you could be like that person. So obviously, this person must possess some good qualities. We are talking about somebody who has integrity, somebody who is God-fearing, somebody who is hardworking, somebody who has achieved a lot in life, and you aspire to be just like that. So the person must have those qualities.
The word integrity, when I hear it when it comes to mind, I think that word has been misused. I don't know why, because since I was a child, I've been hearing integrity. But in our country now, we hear people misusing, for example, the nation's resources, funds, and sometimes you hear it and you're like, are we really talking about integrity? Do you also believe in that?
I think it's a quality everybody would want to have, but not everybody has it, only few people.
What does it take to have that?
Integrity is when you are doing things not because people are watching. Mm-hmm. So if you are not supposed to throw a rubbish on the street, even in your car, where nobody sees you, you try not to do that. So it's a virtue. I mean, it's a value everybody would want to have, but only few people have it. If you be honest and do things the way they should be done, regardless of whoever is watching you, then you're a man of integrity.
Today, we normally hear influencer, celebrity. People would always want to look up to them. What is the difference between that and a role model?
Well, with a role model, we are talking about qualities that everybody would want to have. When you talk about influencer, we are talking about people who are able to sway others, I mean, people's opinion. They're able to move people on certain lines, often commercial or entertainment. So they are popular, and because they have certain skills, people would want to just gravitate towards them. There is something they enjoy seeing about them, either the way they dress, or the way they sing, or certain things that they have. They are different. I mean, this is different from being a role model. You may love somebody and will be his or her follower, but you wouldn't want to be like him.
Yeah.
So you may see a musician who smokes weed, marijuana, or does certain things. I mean, he sings, you love the song. If you hear the person is coming, you want to go and see him, but you wouldn't want your child to be like him. Sometimes what they do is they either they have their own production. I mean, or let me put it this way. they kind of promote products because they are popular and they have a lot of following. People use them for commercials. They have their own production that they run on social media to get more people. And the more people they get, the more their commercial value, and people begin to use them for various commercials. Yeah, but their character may be something that people wouldn't want to have.
Now, fathers would usually want to instill some type of values into their children, and it becomes so difficult. How should we go about it?
It is difficult when you don't live those values.
Okay.
One thing about parenting is that if you want to teach, do this, do that, and they don't see you do it, it becomes very difficult to get results. I keep telling my boys, study, don't spend all your time on television. So if a child is supposed to go to bed at 8 o'clock, and this is the discipline you have instilled in the home, and there's a football match from 8 to 10, and you decide to watch and tell them to go to bed, they will see you as an unfair parent. I mean, you are just sitting on their happiness. You are not living your talk. So I wouldn't watch such a match. Once I want my son to go to bed, I'll go to bed. If I don't want my son to do something, I'll make sure I don't do it either.
Then you are talking about huge sacrifices.
You need to sacrifice for their good.
At the detriment of your happiness.
Yes, if you want to get it right. So if I don't want you to insult somebody, I wouldn't insult. And often there are things you may do with mommy. I mean, you may talk. If they are there, there should be a limit to what you can go. Even if I'm discussing something which is positive, but they may misconstrue it to be something, I wouldn't say, because they will learn from you. You know, when we were young, we used to do what we call playing mommy and daddy.
Mom and Papa.
Mom and Papa, that role.
Yeah.
And you see a small boy shouting at the one playing the role of a mother.
My mother.
Well, if you don't do that, I'll slap you. Where is that coming from? From what he has learned from home, from the parents. So when you play mommy and papa, you do exactly what they do. And if your home is such an environment where it is devoid of insults, shouting at each other, if your kids are playing that role, it's the same way they are going to do it.
Because they're emulating you.
They're emulating you. What you do. And if you are a father, you pray. A mother, you pray with the kids, the way you pray. When they are praying, that is the way they learn to pray.
Because that is what they know.
That is what they know. The way you treat your woman, your wife, the men will grow to treat their wives the same way. The way you treat your husband, your daughter will grow treating your husband the same way. That is what he or she is used to.
Does that mean environment cannot have effects on them even though you have taught them at home? Because sometimes you get to hear parents saying, as for this, my son, I've done everything, but he's still doing something else. What could be some of these reasons?
Environment has a big role to play, but you are competing with environment for the raising up of your child. The child will go to school and will be with friends who are coming from diverse homes. And will spend about, if you take away the study hours, maybe 2 hours of break that you would interact with the students, fellow students. And then will come home. The quality time you should have for that child should be good, or should be in such a way that it would undo whatever he or she has gone to learn from school. So if you are closer and you spend quality time together, you are able to learn all the the bad habits they are picking from elsewhere. And then you try to, whittle down those ones, and then you get a better result from her. But if she's constantly or consistently getting, and you are giving her just a little, it becomes very difficult. But having said that, I must also be quick to say that we need to pray for our kids. Because if you consider yourself as a career woman, a career father, and you spend a lot of time outside, and the child is being trained by teachers, the character of which you may not be aware, and is being influenced by peers or friends, then the little time you have for him or her, you need the divine intervention to get the best out of your daughter. But the point is, be intentional about it, keep working at it, engage them. What did you study in school? I hope everything went well. Is there anything you want me to help? Is there anything you want explanation from me? Once you keep, sometimes they share some of these things with you. Somebody said this. What do you think about that? Or, somebody told me this. You get to know some of these things and then try to stem them down before they get to the level where you can control.
Now, let's look at the issue of communication. Communication has been a very big deal in the home setting. And especially today, I want us to concentrate on the boys or our sons. How do we communicate our values and instill in them the right thing? How do we do it? I'm asking this because today they say we have Alpha generation, Alpha, Gen Z generation, and I'm sure your generation, I don't know how they will call that one. So, and my generation too will be something different. Yeah. So how do we marry this through communication?
I think you need, you don't need just one approach. It should be a multifaceted approach to handling such issues. Some of them will come from, values, devotions that you have with them. You introduce them to the Word of God, and you pick bits and pieces of these through your devotion. For instance, you are learning about the boy Joseph, and Joseph has a whole to tell you about the values that we should have. If you are talking about the child Samuel or Jesus, there are a lot of values you could pick. So without consciously teaching, they'll be getting those values. Then your own lifestyle and how you go about things. A child gets to know, hey, this thing daddy hates, mommy hates this. So through your life, you're able to impact values to kids. And then you're also intentional, especially if you pick signals. So you tell them, no, this is not allowed in this house. And this is the reason. If you do this, this is the repercussions.
Yeah.
So you don't just say, we don't allow this here, we don't entertain this in my home, and leave it that way. You tell them the repercussions, the implications. So once you have all these approaches coming together, you're able to get a better child or boy child.
So the idea is to communicate with reasons.
With reasons when there is cause to do that.
And you should be intentional about it.
And you are intentional about that. And then there are others that through, part of the process of raising godly children, like devotions, Bible studies, family studying the Bible together, most of these values are also picked from there. They ask questions about Samuel, they ask questions about Daniel, and once they begin to engage and interact, question certain things, they embed, and that makes them better.
I don't know if you have seen this of late. For some time now, you realize that, okay, let me go this way. Some years ago, when you see money on the ground, you rush and go and give it to the person. the person will say, "Meba medase, God bless you." It ends it. Today, it looks like it's a big deal. When somebody finds money and he decides to go and give it to the person, the owner, we are quick to say, for lack of better word, as if that person is not correct. Why should you see money and go and chase the person? So those days we were not hailing people who were returning items to their owners. But today is a big deal because somebody found money and decided to give it to the person. Then you see organizations hailing them. What has changed from that time till now? What has changed?
A lot has changed. I remember somewhere around 2003, I think 2002 or 3, that was the first time I used a mobile phone. It wasn't very common. You could just, those were the Millicom days, and then we're using Nokia 3310. It wasn't common. And it wasn't something that we were bent on getting. I mean, we knew it was for a certain class of people.
Yeah.
Today, those even in JSS would want to have a mobile phone. So increasingly, people are trying to live a life that is expensive. And once we get into that space, we need money to do all those things. So people begin to worship money. That is one side of it. And technology had not developed the way we see it today during our days. So a lot of things that people use money to do today, in those days it was either you are going to buy food or you are going to buy a dress, clothing. But today, people are even going to the extent of needing money to bet. So when you begin to have all those plenty things competing for the little resources, people begin to look for money. And it is for us as parents to teach them in a way that will take the attention from some of these tendencies. And I must say that my boy, the firstborn, and even the secondborn, the lastborn, who is also a boy, the firstborn grew up to the university, and I was still buying clothing for him. His mother would still go to market and buy things for him because we did not raise them up to be doing those things themselves. And when they get money, they'll give it to their mom. Up to date, my little boy who is 11, anytime they give him money, some of our family friends and family members outside will come. They'll give him maybe $100 or £100. Go and give it to mommy. Mommy, save it for me. And then, so the mother was telling me, I think 2 days ago, that she's bought some T-bills for him, but there's still some few, there's still something left. She'll add to it and then buy another one for him. So we train them in a way, you need food, we provide for it. If you are going to school and you need to buy food, then we go, we make arrangement and go and pay. So we do not try to get them to be in the forefront of commerce, buying or sometimes selling and that kind of thing. We wanted to shift their focus to their studies and to conduct themselves as kids. So it gets to the right time and then they get into that business. But in some families, I'm not criticizing that. They introduce them to money, this, that, and so it becomes very difficult to control that tendency when, they get to a certain level.
Because they feel they must take care of themselves. If they don't do, they are not going to get it. So instead of returning that money who is for somebody, then they must use it. That is the use, right?
Yeah, but the fact, the important point is the values you are inculcating in them. If the values are right, anything that doesn't belong to them, they wouldn't take it. Even what belongs to them, they will seek your approval before they can spend. But if the values are not good, then, I mean, if your child can come home with a dress that you didn't buy, and as a parent, you keep quiet, you're encouraging something. If your child will come home with something, a mobile phone, and you did not buy it for him or her, and you let it go, you're encouraging something. If your child can go and do something involving an amount of, say, 20 cedis, 30, or even 50 cedis, and then you don't talk, you don't care to find out, then you are getting him or her into a certain, space. But if you're in charge as a father, as a mother, you spend on them, you know everything they are wearing, until they are independent enough to earn and to buy. You should be wary. I mean, if my child, even who is at the university, comes home and I pay everything for him, he comes with something. Hey, where did you get this from? Oh, my auntie came here and she gave it to me. Oh, okay, we'll call auntie and then thank auntie. I mean, just take responsibility for the child. And once you do that, even when they get gifts, they'll return it to you.
Now, let's look at the issue of emotional intelligence. How do I demonstrate emotional intelligence in my interactions with my sons?
Well, there are many sides to this, but I'll just concentrate on two things. Teach them to understand themselves. Okay. And you as a parent to know your limits, understand your temperaments, understand yourself. When you understand yourself, they even do certain things that would provoke you. Because you know yourself very well, you're better able to comport yourself. So in dealing with them, you need to be extra cautious. You don't allow your temperaments to flare up to the point where you either use abusive words or even hit them with your hand or cane them. Control your temper. The best way to do it is to be aware of your temperament, yourself. If you know yourself better, sometimes even when you are getting annoyed, you just walk away and go to your room to take some time, cool off time, and then you come to handle the case maturely. And then also, we should empathize with them. They go through a lot of stress. A small boy will come home with about 5, homework, French, 3, this, that, and you need to empathize with them. Sometimes we shout at them, why are you so slow? I mean, it's late, we need to go to bed. You stress them the more. These days, kids are getting pressure and all those things. They go through a lot of stress. Our time we study, but we had time to also just play around. We go to play football with our colleagues, do whatever, they shout calling for you to come and pound fufu and those kind of. These days, kids come home, they are so loaded. Sometimes you are in a hurry to go and sleep, but for the homework that they've brought. So come back, they'll be in traffic, from somewhere to the house, take about sometimes 2 hours driving in traffic to get home. They come and they sit by their books, doing their homework. By the time they finish, it's around 9 o'clock, go and bath and go to sleep. They go through a lot of stress. Empathize with them. Be with them, talk to them. Lighten their burdens for them by supporting them to do the work, and also talking about other things that will just relieve them of the stress.
Like what?
Sharing jokes with them, talking about what happened at workplace, or talking about something that happened over the weekend, something to take their minds off the work they do. And sometimes, showing them something on their tablets or something. Have you checked about it? Have you seen this? I mean, something, just to ease the...
So before you can share jokes and come down to their level, because they don't seem to like our jokes.
Yes.
Yes. So it means you must go down to their level.
Don't do the traditional one that we were brought up with.
Okay, Koko Anansi story going far. In Tekuma and the rest of
No, they don't know Tekuma, so what sense would they make out of that? So, I mean, talk about something. I mean, something about the family, things that happen. Your grandfather told you something. Hey, do you know something? I mean, share something that they will love. And one of the things that you should learn from your boy child is what he likes and what he doesn't like.
Please say it well. I want you to emphasize it again.
Yes, I'm saying one of the things you should learn from your child boy is to know what he likes and what he doesn't like.
Okay.
So once you know this boy he doesn't like this, you try to stay away from that. And give them room. They need space to develop, space to be assertive, space to, in fact, develop their own identity.
Yeah.
So,
because I think sometimes they go through this identity crisis a lot, and it brings them problems.
They need space. We want to bottle them, to put them in a tight corner to be like us, exactly, but it doesn't work that way. So guide them, give them room, and be watching, so that if they are going wrong, you can bring them back on track.
But will that pass for every child?
No, every child is different. So the way I would deal with my firstborn is different from the way I would deal with another boy.
It means you took time to study them.
You must study them right from birth. I know my children very well. I know my lady, I know my firstborn, I know what will provoke them, I know. So sometimes I'll be soft. Sometimes the mother will tell me that you are watching, and I'll laugh. I won't make any comment, even in the presence of the boy. Because, like the last born, we always have that, your father's watching you, eh? So you know them. Once you get to know them, you'll be able to manage the situation better.
So what really is the challenge when we see some boys going wayward? You see them, they are off. They are all over on the streets. What has gone wrong?
Partly from the formative years, we didn't have time for them. These days, you wake up early in the morning, you go to work, the mother wakes up early in the morning, goes to work. When school is over, sometimes the driver will go and pick them. When they come home, the house help is there, will take charge, shouting at them, beating them, doing this and that. The mother will come probably around 6, 7. The father will come around 8, 9. So we are not in control. I remember I went to South Africa as part of my official duties, and our office there, I used to work with a company that has a subsidiary in Ghana. There was a lady we were reporting to. He was coordinating all the group reports, and I went there. I was told he was on leave. He comes to work in the morning, closes around 12 o'clock, and then that's it. I got there around 1 o'clock, and I was told I can't meet her until the following morning. When she came, I asked what the issues were, and said she had given birth, and as part of their plan, she takes half day off. She will take the child to school in the morning, and then close around 12 o'clock, go and pick the child so that he will have time for him. In my case, my wife started as a teacher, so often they'll close around 2, 3 o'clock, and we'll have time for them. So it worked well for us. But if you go, the woman also goes, and then you all come late. In this case, the child is being trained by your house help. by colleagues, the fellow students, and then the teachers. So you've lost control. The redemption is there, but you need to work hard for it. You need to find a way of having quality time with them. So if these things are non-existent, if you don't get these things done, then obviously God would have to be very generous with you.
And merciful.
Merciful. But I wish we could take charge and then get his support. Because it's not for nothing that he said, train up a child the way he should go. You have a role to play. Don't leave everything to chance, hoping that God will take charge of everything. You must start and then ask for his blessings.
My dear parents, don't leave things to chance. You must take charge. This is from Mr. Kwaku Yeboah Asuama. Let's go for a quick break. Please remember to call in your friends. Send in your questions and contributions to 0559 680066. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Today on The Apprenticeship. A new show is coming to Hope Channel Canada. Learn how to love, serve, and be like Jesus with Rebecca and Douglas Pereira on The Apprenticeship. Join Rebecca and Douglas as they walk in Jesus' footsteps through the Gospel of Luke. Discover how God shapes each of us for a godly purpose. And learn what it means to be a rescue worker with God.
Hello guys, I welcome you all to Gospel 101 TV show. My name is Selassie Evelyn and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this uplifting journey into the heart of gospel music and inspiration. What you made ye sui, yet de ekuku down. Get ready for a television show that will challenge, uplift, and remind you of the incredible power of God. The show will boss yet the life-changing stories.
We are not going to marry when we go to heaven. It is very true. But if we are not careful, our bonnet heaven will cry.
Good music videos. So tell a friend to tell another friend. Say, Gospel 101 Jumedieno has come. It is not just a show. It is going to be an experience.
Gospel 101, showing this and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Hope TV.
You are welcome back, my lovely viewer, and thank you so much for not leaving us. We are discussing becoming an exceptional role model to our sons, and the program is Love at Home on Hope TV. I have here Mr. Kwaku Yeboah Asuama. Thank you so much. We've talked at length, but this time we would want to know, how can I truly role model my son? Are there steps that will help me do this? Must I set expectations? How do I go about it?
There is an interesting Bible text scripture that I like so much. I think that is in Genesis 18:19. It says, I know Abraham, he will command his household to do what is right, just to paraphrase. We need to be intentional about whatever we do. God has given children for our care and keeping. We are to take care of them. We are to nurture them and bring them, raise them to be responsible people. We are stewards for So we are talking about teaching them to respect. You teach them, if an elderly person is greeting you, in my village, we will tell you, don't use your left, use your right, because that is part of our culture. So they grow up using that. We went for a presentation where I was working. I mean, I just started my retirement about, let me see, 11 days ago.
Hey. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And we went for a presentation to some civil servants, and there was one of my managers who was trained in America. And he stood, I started the presentation, I introduced them, took them through what we're going to do, and asked him to do the technical bit. And he started, you guys, and one person raised their hand. Who are you to come and dress elderly statesmen like this as you guys? We lost that business. So we tease him in the office, you guys. And increasingly, we get our children using that. And anytime my son uses that, I'll tell him, no, don't use that. He will refer to mom and dad, you guys. No, don't use that. So values. What is acceptable in society? We teach. We must teach them. If we don't teach them the right thing, they will go and learn what is not right, and it becomes part of them. Teach them to be honest. Honesty is a value that is loved by everybody. Everybody would want to have an honest person around him. Teach them to be honest. Tell them, you tell me the truth, I will not beat you. If you rather lie, I'll beat you. Give them that assurance to be free to tell the truth. You need to encourage them, because some truth means that they did something wrong. But teach them to tell you the truth. Teach them to be men of integrity, to grow up to be, boys of integrity, with the hope of growing up to be men of integrity. Tell them that what is not good whether people are watching you or not. Once it's not good, it's not good. If you're alone, don't do it. God is watching you. When they are young, that is how you teach them. Yeah. When they are old, you don't add God. Even though they know that God is watching them. But tell them, when you are doing certain things that mommy and daddy are not there, God is there, he's watching you. That is teaching them to have integrity. So respect, for the elderly, all those things. So that is the values. And then also teach them to relate well with people. Teach them not to shout at people. In argument, one must win. Or sometimes you need to strike a compromise. If your argument or your point of view is not hailed, don't insist, don't fight, don't shout. Just be calm. Sometimes posterity would
we'll judge it.
Yeah. Teach them how to relate to people. Greet people when you meet them. Don't fight with people. You may have different opinions, but it doesn't mean you are enemies. Be part of their journey. Help them. Remember, you have maybe gone to school, you have become a graduate. And my philosophy is that if your child cannot go beyond what you have done, you have not done well. I wouldn't say you have failed. Your child must be better than you. So take them through the process of building honorable men, building strong men, men of integrity, men of value, men who would rise up to take higher positions in the nation. So guide them, teach them, help them with their homework, pay their school fees, do whatever that will help you to get them to where they need to be. solve their problems for them. They have problems, they have challenges, they come. The way you receive them will determine whether they would continuously come to you with their problems. If they come and you throw them away, you shout at them, they would rather go to friends and seek advice. And that is when you begin to lose it. If you are not welcoming enough, they would look for an alternative source of solace. So accept them as and when they come, even when they come with, in quotes, something that is not sensible. Just take them and later on try to either work out on how you can get something better out of that. If they don't know, even the Bible says that our prayers, angels will have to straighten it up before God. So if your child is making a demand that is not good, you try to fashion it polish it up in such a way that you will end up getting him something that would make him happy. Yes. So these are practically what I did. We'll go through some of these things to you, and there are signals to pick. Anytime they come home and you see something that is not good, it's a signal. Pick it up and fashion out something to address it.
Okay, so with this, are we expecting to set expectations to, for example, to say, I want to work on respect, and so I'm not in respect. These are the things I will do under respect. How do you measure what you are, whether or not what you are doing is right? How do you measure it?
Their behavior is a measure of your success.
You mean the feedback of the behavior?
The behavior is a feedback. What you see them exhibit shows whether you are getting it right or not right. If you are getting it right, sometimes it's just rewarding the good behavior, reinforcing the good behavior. If you are not getting it right, then strategically, you need to go to the drawing board. How can I get it better? Why am I failing? What is wrong? And in that, if you do an introspection, sometimes you see that your approach is wrong. Sometimes you are harsh. Sometimes you are too critical on them.
Or sometimes you are too soft.
Sometimes you are too soft on them. So you need to do that kind of evaluation. And you have areas they are failing. The good parents should begin to know the progress of your children. They are not just the academic work, but the way. And I know my kids. I know who is more assertive, who is not, who is very calm, who is introvert, and all those things I know. And sometimes I find a nice way of saying that, hey, church is over. Just go and play with your friends. Indirectly, you are just
trying to engage them to socialize.
Yes, socialize. So, parenting is for life. Because my kids, as I said, they are now all grown up. They are professionals, let me put it that way, except the last born, they are all, people who have their professions to work as medical doctors. But still, I pray for them. Still, I find a nice way of telling them to do certain things without letting them know that I'm pushing something on them. I say it once, in 2 weeks' time I'll say it differently. So that, that will set you thinking. And sometimes they will tell you, hey, I won't do this. Or no, I'm not interested in this. So what is the alternative? Okay, that's also fine. And then we move on.
So let me know, is society putting pressure on our boys? Because sometimes you hear people say, as for a man, you must be tough. You shouldn't feel. And so we do not allow them to try, to make errors. And so there is this jacket we have pushed them in. Do you see that like that? Do you see it in that form?
Well, it depends, because some of these things could be motivation.
Okay.
As a man, you must be in charge. As a man, you must get to the top because you are going to take somebody's daughter, marry the person, and take care of him. So as a man, it could be motivation, but it could also demotivate if you're so
when it is not done well.
Done well. So it could be positive, it could be negative. But you should have a plan for your son. You should have. I mean, I'm not the type. I was a business student. I mean, I trained in the business school, came out, did my professional, became a chartered accountant. Later on, I branched into insurance, became a chartered insurer. My kids, it got to a point, and I knew where they were gravitating towards. They wanted to do medicine. I didn't discourage them. They come and do what I did. Rather, when I noticed that, I tried to buy them books that would kind of help them move forward. I remember buying this American man, the Seventh-day Adventist who was going to be a vice president. Oh.
American?
Yeah, I mean, he has this book, this black surgeon, neurosurgeon.
Oh, yeah, the name is not coming.
So I bought a book because I had seen that my son was,
having that interest.
So I said, let me just buy the book. And up to date, he still wants to be a neurosurgeon. If he's a medical doctor, all right, but he aspires to be there. So identify their interest and help them pursue it.
In that case, how do we work on failure for them to accept that failure is part of the journey? Because we realize that today's children are not able to accept failure. They feel this entitlement right, everything should be okay. So when I fail, then the whole world doesn't like me. I must go into drugs. I must go into suicide. I must do something weird. What is your take on this?
I think sometimes I'm even guilty here because I expect them to do so much. The little boy would be fourth in class. No, I mean his regular position is second. And why can't you be one? And sometimes we go into argument and he will tell me, but I've done well, Daddy. And I keep quiet. And I mean, not only him, I did it for the elderly ones too. I was always expecting them to, get there. But I think from hindsight, I was very uncharitable here.
But did it help or not?
Well, somehow, I wouldn't say, they were the foundation they had, the kind of efforts we were putting in, they were going to do well anyway. But I think that we create unnecessary expectations. Sometimes we can encourage them in a better way. So lately, what I have resorted to is I would rather look at them subject by subject rather than looking at a position. Last semester, mathematics, you got 80. So this semester, or term, you are 79. So you could have done better. Okay. Let's see whether we can move it above that. We must always get better and not get worse. Yeah. So this has been the approach. So I look at them subject by subject and then compare the previous term to the current term, and then based on that, would then tell them. Every now and then, even those who are adults, the medical students out, what are you doing? How is it going? Your exams, this, that. I'm interested as a father. And it will not end there. When they have done their specialization and they are working, I'll still be interested in their welfare. When they are not married, I'll be praying. I'm interested in them getting married. When they need to give birth, I'll be interested. I'll pray that they will get. When they start working, I'll be praying that they will do well in their work. So until you drop dead, you keep praying for them.
You keep on doing the parenting job. You keep on doing the parenting job. So how do we resolve the issue of being seen as timid? in the quest of being obedient. Sometimes you are not able to distinguish it.
So you mean the child?
Yes,
the boy
I mean
child.
The boy child.
They pick up these things. I mean, sometimes you will see, many things go to determine their temperaments, including whether they exhibit timidity. Sometimes the experience they had in school, first day at school. So those things are crucial. And we don't pick those things easily, because I remember my firstborn, first term in the first day at school. I mean, that was kindergarten. He spent about 1 term in the head teacher's office. She won't go to class. Once we introduced her to the head teacher and he got used to the head teacher, he would always want to be with the head teacher. So we need to pick these signals and then begin.
Was it that something was happening in the class that the,
the
boy was trying to tell you, but because he couldn't speak, we didn't get the signal?
I didn't get it.
Okay.
Up to date, I don't know what happened. But we today talk about it, we laugh at him, and then, I mean, yeah. But let's look for these signals. Because sometimes something happens to them and they recoil. They get into their shells and they wouldn't want to open up. But you encourage them. If you think the person is timid, you need to have plans, programs to get him better. Get him involved in family devotions. Sometimes arrange for him to work on the church platform. Certain things, I mean, so that if the person is shy, you do all those things and then he will master courage to stand before people to speak. If they are timid, you work on it, you pray, and then try to get them to be assertive and be open and do things. You are better placed to know their weakness.
Yeah.
And don't joke with that. As part of the building, I mean, the build-up, you need to train them to be responsible. And if you fail in those things, they will grow and still will not be able to fit into society.
Well, my time is up. Please, give us your final advice.
Well, my advice, I would just say about 4 ways or 3 ways. Be the priest of your boy child. You must be his priest. Train him in the fear of God. You must also be his mentor. Your character, your behavior, your achievement should inspire him to do better. My father has done this. My father is this. My father is that. I can't fail. I should do better. Be their leader. Model your leadership style in such a way that it will take after you. Leadership here is how you organize the home, how you love your wife, you care for her. All those things are going to kind of, they are going to learn. Be a breadwinner. Don't let him lack anything that is reasonable at his age. Provide clothing, shelter, food, necessities of life. Be their breadwinner. Because anytime you fail in any of these, they begin to see you differently. So try to do this. But probably the last thing I would say is that apart from being their priest, help them, be their helper, be their confidant. They should be able to approach you and talk to you. Daddy, I have this problem. Daddy, can you help me with this? Let that environment, create that environment for them to be confident to come to you. Once we do this, we will get to know them better. And when we get to know them better, we can prescribe the solutions to their development. And we would end up getting better boys who would work and uplift our nation up, who would take over from you. And even if you, go before your wife, they will take care of your wife and take care of the house. Will be beneficial to the society, support people they meet, because you've instilled in them godly values.
Wow, all too soon, our time is up. I am sure you have soaked in a lot. I did. But what is so important is that being a father is one of the most impactful roles a man can take on. And so we pray that fathers, God will equip you with the knowledge, with the skill, with the resources to be able to model our sons, so that we don't bring boys who are only looking at masculinity and showing their bodies and beating women at home. Boys who will have integrity and handle our nation, Ghana. Men who will build society up. The topic has been becoming an exceptional role model to our sons. I have learned a lot. Please continue the discussion with your sons at home. Same time next week, when we come into your homes again with another interesting topic that is engaging and educative and inspiring. Stay blessed and God help you. Happy Father's Day in advance to all fathers. Good night. Bye-bye.